guys, this is my December daily collection. I just wanted to do a quick video before I get started on December daily 2015 and do a flip through of these ones. I'm not going to go through every single page or sort of go through the albums in their, in a lot of detail, but I thought it would be kind of fun. So I'm going to move these guys. I'll tell you a little bit about them as we go. You can see I'm not very good at doing small December dailies. This was my very first one. Maybe I need bigger rings one of these days. There's no actual album. I just used a package of craft envelopes and craft cards from Michaels, and then I used the My Mind's Eye All Is Bright Christmas collection. Oh, this is Tim Holtz grunge board on the front and on the back, and I believe that is Tim Holtz ink. I'll put a link in the description box, and I'll just put a quick blog post with the links to these blog posts from a couple years ago, if that makes sense. So this is 2012, 2013, 2014 over here. So this one, yeah, 2012. I really loved the My Mind's Eye collection. It's so nice. It's one of those collections that I wanted to have every single bit of paper. I needed them all. I needed to use everything, all the little angels, and I just love this collection. So there's lots of flaps and lots of little things that open and photos that slide into envelopes and things like that. Lots of little bits and pieces. This one, actually, I was totally shocked and honored and amazed, and I don't know how many adjectives I can give you. But after I had posted this one on the blog, this was before the blog was Scrapstorian. So this was before it was Brandy and Shara and I, and it was just me. And so at that point, it was just Cheryl Lane at WordPress.com before we sort of dove into this together. And so this was originally posted there, and I got an email from Stephanie Howell, who was My Mind's Eye. I don't know exactly what title it would have been, but got an email from her asking if she could include this in her I Spy with My Mind's Eye blog roundup page. So this was actually pinned on the My Mind's Eye, on one of their Pinterest boards, on their I Spy with My Mind's Eye, and actually featured on the My Mind's Eye blog. I kind of died a little bit. It was ridiculous. It was super cool. And I'm still totally amazed that it happened. But this is a great paper collection, and I feel like I used as many little sort of bits and pieces and these are all of our family photos, like photos we received from friends, and I don't know that all of our friends need you guys to know that they were on YouTube. So I'll flip through those. But yeah, I mean, you can see it's been sitting on my shelf for a couple of years now, so it's a little bit difficult. I should have used bigger binder rings. But this was my first December daily. That was the first time I had ever tried it. I did prep as much as I could ahead of time, and that worked out really well for this particular one. I lost a little insert here. I'm just going to put it back in its envelope. And so then the following year, I went to a more traditional album style. So this is a Simple Stories album that I had at home for a while, and this was red, I believe, and this was just the craft color. So I did 2 to 3 coats of gesso over the whole thing, and then probably 2 coats of chalkboard paint to get the whole thing to be white. Oh, and again, these are the lessons you learn December daily, is that, look, I make them too big. I definitely needed a bigger album because some of my pages are falling out. So this one, I used a lot of, I believe, the Simple Stories December Documented collection would be what most of the paper in this one came from. A couple of little bits and pieces of tags. There's probably more journaling in this one than there has been in some of the others, simply because I had more space for it. I just had more room for writing things down in this album. Sorry, I know I'm flipping quickly, but I want to go through the other album as well. And so yeah, this is 2013. Sleeping in the airport is always a good time. I used some of these. Sorry, I'm just getting caught on my trimmer, so I'm just gonna sort of move this way a little. Yeah, you guys can still see. So I used some of these chipboard dividers, so that marks, Christmas Day, and I probably used another one, I believe, to mark New Year's Eve. Let me find New Year's Eve. See what I mean? Don't ever paint the rings. Please don't. Just learn from me. Don't paint the rings. Yes, so here is I use the other divider to mark Christmas Eve, and there's a divider at the beginning as well. I can't get to the back of the book. This is what makes this book so big, is I just put a pocket and put in all of the photos we received from friends and family that year. So again, if you ever want to paint an album, do it. It's great. It's lots of fun. Put all the chalkboard paint you want on the outside of your album. Do not put it on your rings unless at some point in your scrapbook life you want to repunch every single one of these holes. Don't do that, okay? Once we get through all these albums, you'll see what led me to the decision for the 2015 album. So 2014, this was an interesting one. This is an altered book. Again, I'm incapable of making a small December daily. So this is 2014. Now the interesting thing with this one was I bought 0 Christmas supplies. 0. Everything in this book, there's not a single Christmas supply. Everything in this book was from my existing stash. So this is Heidi Swap. These are Studio Calico. We Are Memory Keepers, I believe. That is Pink Paisley or Heidi Swap. Not totally sure. So I don't know. There was definitely some things that went wrong in the beginning of this album. This page is one of them. There were certainly some pages that didn't turn out the way I had wanted them to when I started. See this little accident in here? This was an embossing paste error. So what I did, basically you'll see that a lot of the pages have gesso. Some you can see the text behind them, some you can't. Some pages are covered with pattern paper, some are not. See there's some of the text from the original book. Let's see, I use a lot of gold. Oh, that might be an actual, that was printable actually. Again, didn't purchase anything, that was a free printable. I used a big variety of different types of thickers. I sort of mixed them all up. Some of the pages got a little over gessoed and some are sort of, that one should be stuck together and it's not. See, I was gonna say some of them are too stuck. See, there's a big hole. Those pages should be glued together. Maybe I just need a staple. Let's see. So there's no, again, there's no Christmas themey supplies in here. There's a lot of blue, there's a lot of gold. Sometimes I had a lot of issues with the papers curling and with using too much gesso. And you know I made a lot of mistakes in this one, but it was the first time I had tried to do this with a book and to alter a book. And again, this just wasn't the right size of book for me. So there's 1, there's 2, there's 3. So there's 3 December dailies and little bits and pieces of what I learned through them all. This year, if you've noticed on the Instagram, Scrapstorian on Instagram or the Facebook page, I have been talking about how I have a box that I'm just using this sort of old-fashioned Rolodex. I don't have the actual Rolodex here. But these little cards will mark the dates, and then I'm hopefully just going to use 1 photo per day with some journaling on the back. So it's not a ton to decorate every day. It's hopefully not going to get this big. And if it does, it's a box. I can close the lid. It can expand inside the box, and then I won't be wrecking my albums basically by making them too big. So that's the plan. I will maybe throw in a shot of the box. I had to paint it yesterday. That's the other thing you would have noticed. I bought the box. It's a great box. It's this color. It's Craft and Red, and it was great. I thought it was really cute, good size, but then I decided to use the Pink Fresh Studio Christmas Wishes collection, which is adorable. I love it, but it's very white. See this? Not so much. So I painted the box. My lovely husband actually had some great spray paint and he painted the box. So I'm gonna, I'll insert a still shot maybe to see what that looks like. And I'm gonna try, in my head, I thought doing some periscopes would be a fun idea for December Daily, to try and do some, not daily ones, but to try and do some often of the little cards as I'm decorating, or maybe do some things like that. Let me know if you guys are on Periscope or if you're interested in that. Periscope, I just think if I'm going to do it super often, maybe it's easier to go that route than YouTube because it won't require any editing and any of that sort of thing. So leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. I will do, I'll have a quick link in the description box that'll take you to the blog where I'll have sort of corralled all these December daily links from the previous albums if you guys want to have a look at the supplies and everything in those. So let me know how your December daily is going. Tomorrow is go time. Thanks for watching.